In the mid-20th century, one of the most significant geopolitical events in history unfolded on the Indian subcontinent, the partition of British India into two independent nations, India and Pakistan. This moment not only redrew maps, but reshaped millions of lives forever. Over 200 years, India was under British colonial rule. During that time, various communities coexisted: Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, and many others, in a land rich in language, tradition, and heritage. However, under colonial rule, political tensions, economic disparities, and communal divisions deepened over time. As the Indian independence movement gathered steam in the early 1900s, two dominant political forces came to the forefront. The Indian National Congress, led by figures like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Sardar Patel, promoted a vision of a united, secular India, where people of all religions and backgrounds could live together in harmony. They believed in non-violent resistance and sought full independence from British rule. At the same time, the All India Muslim League, under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, voiced the growing concern among many Muslims that, in a post-colonial, Hindu-majority India, their political and cultural identity could be at risk. Jinnah argued that Muslims were not just a religious group, but a distinct nation with their own history, traditions, and way of life. From this belief emerged the demand for a separate homeland, Pakistan. The British, meanwhile, were reeling from the aftermath of World War II. Economically strained and politically pressured at home, they were in no position to manage growing unrest in India. The Quit India movement and waves of protests had made it clear that British rule could not continue much longer. They decided to grant independence, but the speed and method of their exit would have deep consequences. Lord Mountbatten, the last British Viceroy of India, was tasked with overseeing the transition. The timeline for independence was unexpectedly advanced to August 1947, and a British lawyer, Sir Cyril Radcliffe, unfamiliar with the Indian landscape, was brought in to draw the new borders between India and Pakistan. He had just 5 weeks to divide one of the most complex regions in the world, where people of different religions had lived together for centuries. When the Radcliffe Line was announced, chaos followed. Provinces like Punjab and Bengal were split, and millions were forced to migrate. Hindus and Sikhs moving to India, Muslims to Pakistan. What was meant to be a peaceful division turned into one of the largest mass migrations in history, accompanied by horrifying violence, displacement, and loss. An estimated 10 to 15 million people crossed borders, and up to 1 million lost their lives in the resulting communal riots and clashes. Despite the trauma of partition, both India and Pakistan emerged as sovereign nations with distinct identities. India adopted a secular democratic framework, while Pakistan was founded as a homeland for Muslims, later becoming an Islamic republic. The partition left behind scars that still influence relations between the two nations today. But it also marked the end of colonial rule and the beginning of a new era, where both countries would forge their futures independently, guided by the hopes, dreams, and struggles of their people. The 1947 partition forced around 10 to 15 million people to migrate across the new borders, making it one of the largest mass migrations in history. Communities that had lived together for generations were suddenly divided by religion. Violence erupted, leading to the deaths of up to 1 million people and countless others traumatized. Families were separated, women were especially vulnerable, and refugees on both sides had to rebuild their lives from nothing. The emotional scars of partition still echo through generations. The partition drew a line on a map, but its deepest marks were left on hearts that still remember what was lost. Subscribe and check out our channel.